Devils Wednesday. This is the State of the Fan Address episode. What episode is it? Is it 356? Yeah, I think it's 356. As we're streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, Twitch, and now on Instagram Live, coming to you live on the Let's Go Devils Network. From the Primetime Radio Studios, both North and South Jersey, covering the Garden State. I'm your host, Sam Wu, with PucksandPitchforks.com editor-in-chief, Nick Villano. What a day today. Some Devils news. Sonny, is that Mata or Mata? Doesn't matter to me, because he got a monster out of Pittsburgh today, Nick.
Yeah. I mean, listen, 33 goals, one of the best finishers in the league. That's the thing, Sam. Devils couldn't finish a thing last year. Everything was near miss. Couldn't get the puck in the net on these high danger chances, and it's one of the many reasons why the Devils missed the playoffs last year. They couldn't finish. Right, they were getting in high danger areas, they were getting in scoring areas, and couldn't put the puck in the net. Sonny Mata went out and got a guy who is very good at putting the puck in the net. That's what Anthony Mantha does. He scores goals. Problem is, kind of average at a lot of other things. Not a big defensive player. Doesn't really utilize his size as a two-way player. Not the best distributor. He's decent at distributing. He's not terrible, but he's never going to be a 50 assist guy. That's just not his game. But when you think about the guys who've worked really well with Jack Hughes, he kind of fits the profile, or the Tyler Toffoli types. The Eric Holla, for a 2-week window, Eric Holla was kind of in that conversation. Outside of Jesper Bratt's kind of his own thing, but even Dawson Mercer has played really well with Jack Hughes, and he kind of fits the same physical profile, or not physical profile, scoring profile as Mantha. You want a guy who's going to get to the dirty areas. You want a guy who's going to have a really high shooting percentage. He's a wicked shot, and he's going to really round out this lineup. Now, what I think Mantha does, when healthy, Mantha lifts your floor. I don't think he lifts your ceiling. He's bad in the playoffs. Never scored a playoff goal in his career. 20 playoff games, 0 playoff goals. That's kind of crazy. You'd think he'd fall into one at some point. So you don't love that part, right? This can't be the last move. It's a great move. He's getting paid, I think, $4.75 million, so right under $5 million a year for 2 years. The commitment's fine. It's a little risky just because he's an injury risk, and when you're an injury risk and you've had so many injuries at 31 years old, the next one could be the last one, so you do have to worry about that. But I'm not terribly worried. I think he'll be fine for a 2-year deal. And then you look at where this lineup sits. I think this gives the Devils 14 solid NHL forwards. And I just don't think you can I don't think this lineup's good enough to be full. I think you're going to see something come up the pike. I think this isn't even going to be the biggest forward move we see this season. I think something big is coming. I'm starting, Sam, call me crazy. And maybe this is the Steve Yzerman talking, but I think the Devils are going to talk Dylan Larkin into this.
That would be big news if that happens. Right now, I'm pulled in different directions right now, because obviously with the salary cap, it's not possible, but do you go after Dylan Larkin? You've got the Quinn Hughes situation, which somebody commented about the smirk on the ESPYs, looking like a guy that's not signing with Minnesota. And then...
Oh, I missed the smirk. I don't watch the... Did the ESPYs happen already?
I'm assuming so. I would assume so. Yeah. I think it's happening now.
I wrote about
it.
it.
I think it's actually happening now as we speak.
Okay. Because I wrote about that. The Jack Hughes card is up for an award. The inscription card, golden gold inscription card, is up for an award. But I didn't know when they were happening. So, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's Sam. It's July 15th. Like, I'm sorry, but like, Minnesota Wild fans, you don't have any leg to stand on to say you're not worried. If you're not worried, then something's wrong. You got to be worried.
They're delusional. I mean, have you seen some of the comments that I've been getting, on X? I mean, it's just absolutely delusional that to suggest that Jack is going to request a trade to Minnesota. I hate to say it to the people in Minnesota, but there's nothing special about your state, to be honest. Nothing.
I mean, listen, Minnesota's probably lovely.
But so is Jersey's better. Jersey's so much better.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I've lived in a lot of states. I lived in rural states. I've lived in like high population city states. I've lived in Florida. I've lived in Connecticut. I've lived in a lot of different types of environments. And I came back to New Jersey. I could have moved anywhere. And I came back to New Jersey. A different part of New Jersey than where I grew up because I didn't want to go back, you don't want to go back to where you've only known. But I love New Jersey. The only thing I don't like about New Jersey is the property taxes. Everything else, you can swim, you could surf and snowboard in the same day.
You really can. You're in between two cities with New York and Philadelphia. You got
two very different cities too, right? Like New York is like this own beast, tourist attraction, everything you could possibly want, and then Philly feels like a great American city, right? And DC is not too far away.
Yeah, you could go to Delaware. I don't know what to do in Delaware, but
I love Delaware. I go there all the time.
Yeah, but again, New Jersey. I mean, you get like the best of everything within an hour away.
You get to date Tate McRae.
You could do that.
And if they do break up, he's going to have the Pete Davidson rub. And he's just going to date celebrities for the rest of his life.
Yeah, well, Jack.
He's not going to leave. Yeah, he's not going to leave Tate McRae and then go date, Susie Homemaker. Right? He's going to keep dating celebrities. That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, the Zach Parisi thing was he was basically going home and basically Dad told him to, if my memory, serves me correct. But in this case, getting back to on the topic, you signed this guy. It was a 4.5. What was the AAV?
4.75.
Yeah,
4.75.
It still leaves the opportunity to make that trade for Quinn if they decide to go that route. It makes that the opportunity to even Dylan Larkin as well. It's they could. What's that?
Finish your thought.
No, I'm just saying right now how crucial it was to get Nemitz off the books and getting assets back, and also trading Jacob Markstrom and getting a really, I think 2 good players back out of it. That's not, a cap casualty type scenario. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you how easy it is for the Devils to afford everything that you could possibly want here.
Oh,
so
please tell.
Yes, to afford Dylan Larkin, you have to get rid of Dawson Mercer and Stefan Nason. It's simple. And I think Mercer would be in a Larkin trade, right? They'd want that NHL player back. I think he'd kind of be the centerpiece. Not like, again, you'd have to add it. Mercer's not a Wyatt Johnston or a Matt Boldy type, but he's definitely a guy I think a lot of NHL front office members really value. And then to get Quinn Hughes, what's Quinn Hughes? I think he's like a notch over 7. So to get Quinn Hughes, you have to trade
7-8. I think it's 7-8.
7-8.
Yeah.
You have to trade Brendan Dillon and Jonas Siegenthaler, which I think one of them is getting traded anyway because I think Sonny Mantha wants Declan Chisholm to start, and the other one would probably move in. You can move in the Quinn Hughes trade,
and then the rest you pile on assets, right? Because that's
right. Yeah. Like first round picks, prospects. I'm just trying to think if there's like an NHL player. Like, listen, they're gonna ask for Bratt. I don't think anybody's taking Bratt from Sonny Mantha. Like he's like his. It's like taking your kid's artwork. Like he's the proof of concept. I could see a world where Timo Meier's in the trade, and that obviously like cancels out the money. But I just don't know where Timo Meier's value is right now with that contract. I think he has positive value, but he might not. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. But again, like you don't have to trade Dougie Hamilton to make this work. You don't have to trade Timo Meier to make this work. The Luke Hughes contract isn't ruining this. You can get Dylan Larkin and Quinn Hughes without demonstrably ruining your team or really ruining the depth. I like Stefan Nason. I don't see where he fits anymore. That third year really never made sense. I don't know why Fitzgerald gave it to him, but there's a lot of things that I don't know why Fitzgerald did. The Kovacevic thing, it stinks. I like Kovacevic. He seems like a good guy, but he tore his ACL, and he's just not the same guy. It is what it is. But he has a full no-trade clause. He's going nowhere. The only place he was going to go is wherever Tom Fitzgerald went, and Tom Fitzgerald didn't go anywhere. So Kovacevic isn't going anywhere.
Do you think Dylan Larkin would have a change of heart now that Yzerman's gone?
I don't think that's what's going to change him. I do wonder if he had a relationship with Anthony Mantha, though. Was it a good relationship, or was it, they played together for 4 or 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
So if this is a guy he likes, we know he likes Jack Hughes. We know, we know those Team USA guys got along really well. Do I think he would have had a better relationship with Jack Hughes than Matt Boldy? Like the guys who were on Minnesota, I know he's friends with Quinn Hughes. But Quinn Hughes isn't signed yet. And that's a big deal. And I don't know that he had that same relationship with Brock Faber and Matt Boldy. I know he has a relationship with Jack Hughes vis-a-vis the Quinn Hughes thing. And the fact that they're always in Detroit, right? That kind of helped them get together. Maybe he has a relationship with Luke. I think Luke kind of felt like he had a relationship with his brothers, but he wasn't part of like that friendship contingent that Quinn and Jack were part of. Mm-hmm. Jack had his crew with Zegras and Caulfield, and there's a couple other guys from the Team USA team. Quinn has his contingent with like Larkin and. Actually, Larkin's a little older than him, right? Is Larkin like 29, 30? Or is Larkin the same age as Quinn?
I think they're
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Maybe a year apart.
Are they?
I'm guessing.
But you can get Larkin, because Larkin's got a good contract. I think he's 8.7. And I think the Devils have like 2.6 million left. So you get rid of Mercer, that gives you 6.6. And you get rid of Nason, that gives you a little over 9. So there's Larkin. And then with Hughes, you need, now you're down like 100,000, 200,000. You get rid of Dylan. I think he's at 4, maybe 4.25. So 4.5 there, right there. And then you get rid of Siegenthaler, and now you're at 8. Now you can afford Quinn.
But obviously, you're just talking about money. There's got to be stuff added on. Draft picks.
Yeah, this is just the money. Because that was the thing. That's all the rumors said that Fitzgerald couldn't make the money work, so he didn't make the trade for Quinn Hughes. The money was so easy.
Yeah.
To make it work. He was so stuck on I need to trade Dougie Hamilton, and he lost Quinn Hughes.
So he lost
If
focus.
Vancouver doesn't want... He had singular focus. And it was a dumb thought process. I need to trade Dougie Hamilton so I got Quinn. No, get Quinn Hughes and figure it out later. Or don't. Dougie Hamilton's a good player. Fix the relationship. You know what I mean? And I do think Dougie Hamilton kind of had a icy disposition for the first half of the season. But that changed in the second half of the year. I think you hit a fever point, right? And when you hit a fever point, you're going to go one way or the other. You're either going to go the Barry Bonds route where you're going to go Surf, or you're going to be like, well, if that's the worst thing that's going to happen, you got to change, you change your outlook. You're like, you take I can only control my action kind of an outlook. And I think that's what Dougie Hamilton did. And I think Dougie Hamilton was, he didn't talk to the media at the end of the year. Listen, I would like him to talk to the media. I do think it's part of his job. I don't think that makes him a bad hockey player. Right? Like, I think some people are taking it a little too far. It's with the analysis of that. But that said, even if you just get Larkin, this is a playoff team, no doubt. Possibly a division, possibly. You'd be in the conversation with Washington. It all depends on what Washington gets from Logan Thompson. If they get another Vezina type season, it's gonna be hard to beat. And what's the Super or the Stanley Cup hangover going to look like for Carolina? And what are they going to do in net? Is Busey really the real deal? But I think like when you look at the rest of the Metro, love a lot of what Pittsburgh's done. I don't love anything that Philadelphia's done, like at all. The Rangers look like they're going to be bad again. They got Durafrev, but I don't know why. Like they don't look good. Like Shesterkin goes scorched earth, and you can say the same thing about the Islanders. If Sorokin goes scorched earth, they might make the playoffs. I like some of their roster, but like that was always the problem with the Islanders. They kept signing old guys. And the problem with signing old guys is they look good in the first half, then they get older. Like Bo Horvat got older. A lot of these guys who were playing really big roles for them got older, and now they did nothing to get rid of Palat. I have no idea what that was about. What are you doing? Keep him roster. Just buy him out. But Darsh has been a strange one. So I don't love the Islanders. Don't love what Columbus has done at all. They kind of just convinced Werenski to stay. That was kind of their big move. Right? Am I missing something that Columbus has done? I can't think of anything.
Nothing significant to talk about.
Did something, but I can't think of it. And listen, like have we been on the podcast since Utah Matt? We haven't, right?
Sorry, you're breaking up.
Have we done a podcast since Utah match? Did they do that last Wednesday or Thursday?
Don't remember. Don't remember. I think no. I think I don't remember.
That this is obviously a reaction to that. And that's why I think this isn't it. I think there's another.
Nick,
I don't have my phone. I moved it because you said it was. So
all right.
I don't.
The internet's cutting out. So
okay.
Yeah.
We can wrap it.
What's that?
Do you want to? I think we said enough.
No, don't wrap it. I'm just letting you know. I was just trying to let you know. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Mercer real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. I think you got to trade Mercer.
I had a plan. How about I go solo and you just I don't know, restart your machine?
We're at 9:00. Let's.
All right. I'm just trying.
Am I still here? Am I still here?
Let me ask the audience. Yeah, it's skipping every few seconds. That's what everyone's saying.
That's so weird. It's not doing that for me. Okay.
No, but it's all right. Yeah.
Why don't you? Yeah, just wrap it up. We're at the end of the thing anyway.
All right. Well, I had some things to talk about. Number one, I've loved everything that Sonny has done so far. I love, just the money moves. The money moves, because it's like, and I believe there's no movement clause on. There's none of that no movement clause in this contract, right? He doesn't have a no movement clause.
Correct.
Yeah. So okay, we went from, I don't know who put it out there. I read it somewhere, so sorry I can't credit you, but I read it on X. But we went from a GM that was just giving everything the players wanted, to an actual GM that knows how to manage the cap, completely manage the cap. There were some things that Tom Fitzgerald did well. Number one, early on, getting both Hughes brothers, well, at least Jack, to signing that 8-year, $8 million per, during a time period where, again, you're going through COVID. Jack was not proven at that time period. Made some deals, because I think Tom Fitzgerald had this plan of getting in early, but right now Sonny's got options. Now, I was honestly thinking, Nick, that they would go after a goalie like Hellebuck. But I just don't think that's in the cards right now. I think that ship has sailed. Do you think they will go after a goalie?
No, I think they got the goalies they got.
Do you think Nico Dawes is going to have a breakout year? But I don't think he needs to, with Jake Allen being one of the goaltenders on the roster.
I think he'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to make it quick, but yeah, he'll be fine. I think like a 905 save percentage type season.
Gotcha. All right. Well, anyway, we're gonna. Any last final thoughts on this? So no room for Mercer, huh?
Yeah, he's getting traded. I think he's going to get traded either way. I think he might get a prospects or a picks package if they don't get hit in a Larkin trade.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I think he's one of the only few movable players on the Devils roster because of the no movement. Brendan Dillon, Siegenthaler, I'm not sure. But, again, I think Sonny can actually make it work. But man, if they can get Larkin, I think Quinn may put the pen away and sign that extension and just wait it out.
I don't think he has the pen. If he had the pen, it would have happened.
Yeah. Well,
unless he's asking for 20. Maybe he's saying, if you hit 20, that's worth my time.
But honestly, I don't think Quinn's about the money. I don't think he's about the money. I think he's about the situation. I think he really wants to play with Jack and Luke. I really do. And, for all you Minnesota Wild fans, the reality is Bill Guerin took a risk. And if he can't pull this off, it's not good for Minnesota. And, it's July 15th right now. I've been saying this since June 1st or whenever that whole thing with the owner. I didn't believe it for 1 second. And now here we are, mid-July, waiting. And, and I even texted you last week, Nick, about the Dave Pagnotta. Everyone's saying he said this. I didn't even see one thing that he said anything. not on the fourth period, not on his, So there's a lot of rumor mongering out on social media. Don't believe it, because when you hear it so many times, people start to believe it. I even got DMs from former guests, or friends of the podcast. Mm-hmm. And I should really respond back, but they're saying he's definitely signing. Well, what makes you think that? Who said that? Are you based on Mike Russo? Quinn hasn't said anything. You don't know that. Nobody knows.
People are basing
Quinn knows.
Elliott's the reason. People respect Elliott. I don't think it's Russo.
Well, Elliott Friedman put out an idea. He never said that was going to happen. He put out an idea a couple months ago. It was just an idea. And then people start
just put in the blog when he'll leave ideas for the podcast, but if it's in the blog, it's usually. But things change.
Yeah.
And maybe this was contingent on Dylan Larkin or a center coming, right? And they didn't get it. This Wild team's worse.
Yeah. So anyway, Nick, we should wrap up. Anything you're plugging on pucksandpitchforks.com?
I have a ton of those. I got one on Mikhail Yegorov coming up like 5 minutes after this podcast.
Awesome. We'll go to pucksandpitchforks.com for all your Devils needs. And, also, I got to plug something. I will attempt to do a morning woo in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean while deep sea fishing. Maybe by then we'll get a decision from Quinn Hughes. It'll be live. So, not this upcoming Friday, the following Friday. So, just want to plug that. You may want to set your alerts. I don't think I've ever done it in the middle of the ocean before.
I feel like that would stand out.
Yeah. Well, I've done it on a cruise before, but it was like along the coastline. This is like actually in the middle of the ocean. So, anyway. All right. Well, going to be dropping the podcast in about 20 minutes. Thank you to all those tuning in. Till next time, let's go Devils.